Hello everyone, this is World Exposure. Well, it looks like MSNBC's fancy boy Keith Olbermann can no longer use MSNBC's liberal platform to ventilate his cowardly, unchallenged hate for American conservatism. And why should anyone miss this coward, who is always too frightened to have someone on his program opposite of him to represent those positions that he was always attacking? Such an absence made his program quite dull and very uninteresting. Of course, Olbermann realized that and tried to liven up his content with old, outdated David Letterman type humor. Now, this so-called humor also helped obfuscate to his very few myopic followers of all of his hate and animosity towards those he did not agree with. But hasn't America had enough of all these so-called comedians being allowed to run the news media with endless misinformation? Joy Behar has her own program on Headline News. Headline News. What gives her the qualifications to run such a program? Is it all the name-calling she has on her show? Is it laughing with Bill Maher about someone having multiple heart attacks? I mean, isn't she just an old washed-out comedian that also has a platform on The View? I mean, since when did comedy and news become acceptable to be thrown together for actual news programs that are supposed to be covering serious news stories? I mean, who was the Einstein that thought this would be a great idea? I mean, it does give excuses for the likes of Joy Behar, Bill Maher, and Keith Olbermann when they childishly say something insensitive about someone or call someone a name. People just say, oh, they're just entertainers. It's okay for them to say that. I mean, yes, I can understand having fun with some of the news events on programs like Saturday Night Live, Jon Stewart, and Stephen Colbert with satire, but keep the news comedy on comedy programs only. America is sick of seeing entertainers cowardly throwing out misinformation where they expect to get the news. I think this is one of the reasons that NBC suspended Keith Olbermann indefinitely without pay. It's because no one is watching his program, and he actually had the highest rated program as far as viewers on MSNBC. Of course, this doesn't say much for how many people are watching the rest of their propaganda. Anyway, NBC is saying that they suspended him for donating to political campaigns. Now, Olbermann has admitted to donating $2,400 apiece to Kentucky Senate Jack Conway and Arizona Representatives Raul Grivala and Gabriel Giffords. But do you think that Keith Olbermann was the only NBC employee who has donated to a political campaign? Of course not. Olbermann was suspended because people are sick of entertainment on the news programs, such as Olbermann laughing at Chris Matthews like an 8th grader when the sore loser Matthews was childishly heckling Representative Michelle Bachmann in an interview during the Republicans' big victory on the midterm elections. And the results of those very elections shows NBC that Americans don't buy into their BS.